All right, so are you ready to dive in and figure out how to become a millionaire?
Always.
Okay, good. Well, today we're looking at this Forbes article. It's called 5 Financial Moves to Make Today to Become a Millionaire in 2025. And it came out on January 2nd this year. But before we get started, I want to emphasize that this isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about creating real, lasting wealth.
Yeah, exactly. This article focuses on building long-term financial success, and it all starts with a solid foundation.
So not a lucky lottery ticket, more like a solid plan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The article calls this first step, crafting your wealth blueprint.
So taking stock of our current finances and figuring out how to get from where we are now to that $1 million goal.
Right, and it emphasizes self-awareness and making sure that you set realistic expectations.
That sounds important. So how do we do that? What does that actually look like?
Well, it starts with asking yourself some key questions, like how much money do you need to invest to reach $1 million net worth? Do you need to boost your income to hit that target? What about debt? Do you need to reduce your debt? And then think about your investment goals. What are your investment goals? And how much risk are you comfortable with?
So it's kind of like this blueprint is figuring out where you are financially right now and then finding the best way to move forward.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Once you have that blueprint in place, the article moves on to something I find really interesting, multiplied money streams.
Ooh, multiplied money streams. I like the sound of that.
Right.
Does this mean we all need to become entrepreneurs or start a bunch of side hustles?
Not necessarily. It's not really about that, although that is one path.
Okay.
It's more about realizing that relying only on your 9-to-5 job, it might not be enough to reach that $1 million mark.
So thinking outside the traditional paycheck.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me more. How do we create these multiple income streams? What does the article suggest?
So first, it's about identifying your skills that are in high demand, skills you already have. Maybe you could do some freelance work, on the side. Maybe you can consult or even turn like a hobby into a small business.
Okay, so finding ways to use our strengths and what we're already good at to create more income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you already run a business, you can think about ways to scale it up.
So there are options for people whether they have a business or not.
Yeah.
Now, what about those of us who are perfectly happy with our current careers?
Well, the article mentions that too.
Okay, good.
It says that you should invest in your career development to potentially, earn more, increase your earning potential.
So maybe taking some courses.
Yeah.
Or going to some industry events.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you could even have a conversation with your boss about taking on more responsibility.
That makes sense. So it's all about being proactive.
Yes.
Finding ways to improve our careers, whether it's within our current job or outside of it.
Yes.
But let's be honest, reaching $1 million probably means we're going to have to invest, right?
Most likely.
So what does the article say about that?
Well, it emphasizes that investing is not gambling.
Thank goodness.
It's about making well-informed decisions and taking consistent action.
So I don't have to check my horoscope for lucky stock picks.
No.
Okay, good.
You need to do your research.
Yeah.
Understand different asset classes. Know your risk tolerance.
Hold on, risk tolerance. What's that?
Yeah, so risk tolerance is basically how comfortable you are with your investments, potentially going up or down in value. Some people are fine with high risk. Others prefer to play it safe.
Okay, so knowing how much risk you can take before you start losing sleep at night.
Exactly. And once you understand that,
Yeah.
once you know your risk tolerance, the article says start investing as soon as possible.
Really?
Even with just small amounts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's because of something called the power of compounding.
Compounding.
You probably heard of it.
Yeah, but remind me.
It's basically where your money earns interest, and then that interest earns interest.
So it keeps growing and growing.
Yes, exactly like a snowball effect.
Okay.
And another thing the article stresses is diversification.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spread your investments across different things, stocks, bonds, real estate, maybe even precious metals or art.
Oh, okay.
It depends on you.
Right.
Your risk tolerance and all that.
Okay, so we've got our blueprint. We're thinking about different ways to make money, and we're investing. But there's one big thing we haven't talked about yet.
Debt.
Debt. Yes, debt.
Yeah.
It feels like that can be a major problem when it comes to reaching $1 million.
Absolutely. The article calls it kicking debt to the curb.
I like that, kicking debt to the curb.
Right.
It's very visual.
Yeah.
But how do we actually do it?
Well, the article says that debt drains your resources.
Okay, yeah.
It emphasizes paying it off as quickly as possible.
So, how? What's the best way to get rid of debt?
Well, it suggests a couple of different strategies like the snowball and avalanche methods. Have you heard of those?
I have, but remind me.
So the snowball method, you tackle your smallest debts first to kind of get some momentum, build a sense of accomplishment. And then the avalanche method, you focus on paying off the debts with the highest interest rates first.
So you save money in the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's like choosing which method works best for your personality and your situation.
Right.
Now, the article also mentioned something about credit scores, right?
Yeah, it says that improving your credit score is really important.
Why is that?
Well, a good credit score can get you lower interest rates on things like loans and credit cards.
Oh, okay. Which frees up more money to use for other things.
Yeah, exactly. You can put that money towards your other financial goals.
That's great. All right, so we're making a plan, we're finding new ways to earn money, we're investing, and we're getting rid of debt. What else is there?
Last thing, and this is a big one, is shielding your hard-earned wealth.
Shielding our wealth. So we built our financial castle, now we have to protect it.
Exactly. It's about making sure that your foundation is solid and anticipating potential risks.
Okay, so how do we do that? What are we shielding ourselves from?
Well, the article says that it's important to have good insurance coverage. Health insurance, life insurance, and property insurance.
Right, to protect yourself from unexpected events.
Yeah, and your loved ones.
Yeah, insurance is one of those things you never want to have to use, but you're so glad you have it when you need it.
Absolutely. And the other thing the article says to do is build an emergency fund.
An emergency fund. So that's like money you put aside in case something unexpected happens.
Right, like if you lose your job or you have a big medical bill.
How much should we have in our emergency fund?
The article recommends 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
3 to 6 months. That's a lot.
Yeah, but it depends on you and your circumstances. You know, if your income is unstable, you might want to have a bigger cushion.
Right. Peace of mind knowing that you're prepared for anything.
Exactly. The article also mentions that there's a connection between personal well-being and financial security.
I can see that's like you can't really have one without the other, can you?
Yeah, taking care of yourself, your physical and mental health, it's all an investment in your overall well-being.
It makes sense. If you're not doing well, you're probably not going to make the best financial decisions.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
And when you follow these 5 steps, you know, you're creating this holistic approach to building wealth and achieving your financial goals.
I love that this article, points out that it's not just about the money, but about living a good life.
Yeah.
It's about financial security and overall well-being.
That's right. So as we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want you to think about which of these 5 steps, these 5 moves, which one speaks to you the most right now? What's one thing you could do, maybe even today, to start building that millionaire future? We're going to go into a lot more detail in the next part.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. Welcome back. All right, so let's dig a little deeper into these millionaire moves, starting with that first one, crafting our wealth blueprint.
Yeah, remember, it's all about creating a roadmap to reach your goal of becoming a millionaire.
Okay, our financial GPS. I like that. But how do we actually do it? The article talked about asking some questions, but I need a little more. Like, how do I turn those questions into an actual plan?
Right, so it's one thing to ask yourself those questions, but it's another to actually sit down and create a plan. Let's say your goal is to have a net worth of $1 million in, say, 5 years.
Okay.
How do you even get started?
I don't know. It feels kind of overwhelming when I think about it like that.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people feel overwhelmed. It's a big number. It is. The key is to break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. The article doesn't really give you an exact formula.
Right, because everyone's different.
Exactly. Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
But it does suggest that you should work backward.
Working backward, what does that mean?
It means you start with the end goal, the $1 million, and then figure out, well, how much do I need to save each month or each year to get there?
Okay.
There are tons of online calculators and financial advisors that can help you.
Oh, cool.
Figure out how much you need to save.
So I can plug in like my current savings, how much I want to have, and how long I want to take to reach my goal. And those tools can tell me how much to save.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So it's like a personalized roadmap with steps along the way?
Yeah, a personalized roadmap. But you have to remember, that roadmap isn't set in stone. You might have to adjust it.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You know, life happens. Your income might change. Your expenses might change. Your goals might even change.
Right. And what about things like debt? Or even like how much money we're making? How do those fit in?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You have to be honest with yourself about your current situation. Like if you have a lot of debt,
which a lot of people do.
Credit card debt, student loans, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You have to include that in your plan.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, myself included, sometimes feel stuck because of debt.
Debt can definitely be overwhelming.
It can.
But remember, it's not forever. Millions of people have paid off their debt.
Yeah.
And reached their financial goals. The key is to be smart about it. So start by making a budget and track where all your money is going.
Yeah, make a budget and actually stick to it.
Yes, exactly. Then see if there are any areas where you can cut back on your spending.
So like skip my daily latte or bring my lunch to work.
Yeah. Little things like that can make a big difference. And once you've got a handle on your spending, then you can come up with a plan to pay off your debt.
Okay, there's so many different ways to pay off debt. Which one's the best?
Yeah, the article talked about two popular ones, the snowball method and the avalanche method.
Right.
So remember, the snowball method is where you pay off your smallest debts first just to, get some wins under your belt.
Okay, and the avalanche method is where you pay off the debts with the highest interest rates first.
Right.
So it depends on what works best for you. If you need those small wins to stay motivated, maybe snowball is better. If you want to save the most money, avalanche.
Yeah. And while you're working on paying off your debt, think about boosting your income. You don't always have to find a new job or start a side hustle,
Right. So what are some other ways we could be making more money?
Well, you can use the skills and experience you already have to try to get a raise at your current job. Maybe you could take on some new responsibilities.
Okay.
Or even look into some professional development opportunities to make yourself more valuable.
So it's all about taking charge and advocating for yourself.
Exactly. And once you have a clearer picture of your income and expenses and how you're going to pay off your debt, you can start setting those savings and investment goals.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about the next millionaire move? Maximizing our income streams. I really like this idea because it feels very empowering. Like we're not just limited to our 9-to-5 paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for someone who's new to this idea, where do they even begin?
Yeah, it can be overwhelming, but remember, it's all about diversifying your income. That can mean lots of different things. Maybe you do some freelancing or consulting in your field, or you start a business online.
Okay.
Or you could even rent out a spare room on Airbnb. Or generate passive income.
Passive income. That sounds like a dream come true, making money while you sleep.
Right. It's pretty appealing.
It is.
It does take work, of course. But the idea is once you've set up a system or you've invested in an asset that generates income, you can continue to earn money without doing a lot of active work.
So instead of trading time for money like a normal job, we're setting up systems that work for us.
Exactly. And don't forget, having multiple income streams not only increases your income,
right,
it also gives you a safety net, just in case something happens with one of them.
So it's like having multiple supports holding up your financial house.
Exactly. And even if you don't want to replace your full-time income, side hustles can be a really great way to explore your passions.
Yeah.
Learn new skills, build your network, and of course, earn extra money, which you can then use to pay off debt.
Or invest.
Yeah. Or just have a little bit more freedom.
That sounds great. Okay, we've talked about our financial blueprint. We're exploring new ways to earn money. Now let's talk about investing. I have to admit, whenever I think about investing, I get a little bit intimidated.
I understand that.
I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
What should I do?
So one thing the article stresses is to start investing as soon as possible.
Really?
Yes. Now, I know there are a ton of investment options out there. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
It is. It can be very overwhelming. So the article emphasizes two things: diversification and knowing your risk tolerance.
Okay, so we talked about risk tolerance before, knowing how comfortable you are with, the ups and downs of the market. But what about diversification? What does that mean?
Diversification is basically spreading your money across different types of investments.
Okay.
Remember, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
That's what it means for investing. So if one of your investments isn't doing well, the others might be, which helps to balance things out.
Okay.
Reduce your risk.
So instead of putting all of my money in, say, tech stocks, I should maybe invest in some stocks, some bonds, maybe some real estate, maybe some other things too.
Exactly. And the exact mix that's right for you depends on your individual goals, your risk tolerance, and how long you plan to invest.
Okay, so how do I know what my risk tolerance is? Is there like a test or something?
Yeah, there are. You can find risk tolerance assessments online.
Oh, perfect.
A lot of financial institutions have them too. They can help you figure out how comfortable you are with risk.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Now, the article also mentioned something called compound interest. What was that again?
Oh yeah, compound interest, it's like the magic of investing. So basically, it's where you earn interest on your initial investment, and then you earn interest on that interest.
So your money just keeps growing and growing.
Yes, exactly. Like a snowball rolling downhill, it gets bigger and bigger. And the earlier you start investing, even if it's just a little bit, the more time that snowball has to grow. That's why the article says to start as soon as possible.
Okay, so even if I can only invest a little bit each month, it's still worth it.
Yeah, it's better to start small than not at all.
That makes sense. Now, for those of us who aren't exactly financial experts, what resources are out there to help us get started?
That's a great question. There are tons of resources. You can find educational articles and videos online, websites like Investopedia or Khan Academy.
Okay.
A lot of brokerage firms offer free educational resources and webinars for their clients too.
So there are options whether you're working with someone or just trying to figure it out on your own.
Exactly. And the article also mentions talking to a financial advisor.
Okay, especially if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Yeah, a good financial advisor can help you create a personalized investment plan based on your goals and your risk tolerance. They can also help you figure out all the different investment products out there.
Okay, that sounds helpful. All right, so we've got our blueprint, we're making more money, we're investing, and of course we talked about debt.
Yeah, can't forget about debt.
No, it's a big one. A lot of people struggle with it. It can really feel like it's holding us back.
It can be a big obstacle, yeah. But the good news is there are things you can do about it.
Okay, what does the article say?
So the first step is acknowledging you have debt and making a commitment to do something about it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then it suggests a few things. First, make a detailed budget so you can see where your money's going and figure out where you can maybe cut back.
Okay, I know a lot of people hate making budgets, but it really can be helpful.
Oh, it's so helpful.
Yeah.
It's not about, restricting yourself or anything. It's about making conscious choices.
So being intentional with our money.
Exactly. And once you've got a budget, then you can start focusing on paying down those high interest debts.
Okay, so things like credit cards, payday loans, those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly. The article suggests strategies like the snowball or avalanche methods.
Right, we talked about those before.
Yeah, and the article also emphasizes improving your credit score.
Right. Why is a good credit score so important?
Well, a good credit score can help you get lower interest rates.
Right. Okay.
So you save money. It can also make it easier to get approved for things like mortgages and car loans, even apartment rentals.
So it can open doors for you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So it's like building a good reputation with lenders.
Yeah, exactly. The article says you should check your credit report often, make sure there are no errors.
Okay.
And practice good credit habits, like paying your bills on time.
That sounds good. So we're making a plan, we're earning more, we're investing, and we're tackling our debt, we're making good progress. What else can we do to reach that $1 million goal?
One last thing the article talks about is protecting your wealth.
Okay, yeah, we worked hard for this money. Got to make sure it's safe.
Exactly. The article calls it shielding your hard-earned wealth. It's about creating a safety net.
Okay, a safety net. So like a backup plan in case something goes wrong.
Exactly. So you're prepared if something unexpected happens.
Like what? What kind of things?
Could be anything, like losing your job, an unexpected medical bill,
Yeah, that makes sense. So how do we build this safety net? What are the steps?
Well, the article says that it's really important to have enough insurance coverage.
Insurance, right.
Health insurance, life insurance, property insurance.
Right, to protect yourself and your loved ones. Insurance is one of those things, you hope you never need it, but you're so glad you have it when something does happen.
Yes. The article also says to build an emergency fund.
Right, an emergency fund.
Money you put aside that you can access quickly if you need it.
Okay, so we should have some money tucked away in a savings account or something.
Yeah, exactly. A high-yield savings account is a good option.
Okay.
And it recommends having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved.
3 to 6 months, that seems like a lot.
I know, but it gives you that cushion,
Yeah.
that peace of mind.
Right.
But, of course, it depends on your circumstances.
Okay, so if I have a stable job, maybe I don't need as much.
Right. But if your income is less predictable, you might want to have a bigger emergency fund.
That makes sense. Now, the article also talked about the connection between personal well-being and financial security. What did it say about that?
Yeah, it basically said that you can't really have one without the other.
Right, it's all connected.
Yeah, when you take care of yourself physically and mentally, you're more likely to make sound financial decisions. You're better able to handle stress and the ups and downs that come with managing money.
That makes sense. So self-care isn't just about, like, bubble baths and face masks. It's an important part of our overall financial well-being.
Exactly. It's about taking care of yourself so you can make the best decisions for your future.
Okay, so we're making a plan, we're finding ways to earn more money, we're investing, we're tackling our debt, and we're protecting ourselves and our money. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. We've talked about all 5 of the financial moves from the article. And remember, these strategies all work together. It's about taking a holistic approach to building wealth and reaching your financial goals.
Right. It's not just about the numbers. It's about creating a life that you love, a life that's financially secure and fulfilling.
Exactly. And now that we've talked about the external stuff, the practical steps, I think it's time to shift gears and talk about the internal stuff, the mindset and the habits that can really make a difference.
Okay, I'm ready for that. Let's dive into the millionaire mindset. Welcome back. So we've talked about the 5 financial moves we can make to become millionaires. Now, let's talk about, well, the millionaire mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Financial success isn't just about the numbers and the strategies.
Okay.
It's about what's going on inside, too. Our beliefs and attitudes, our habits.
So, what are some of the key mindset shifts that we can make that'll help us reach our goals, especially that $1 million goal?
Well, the article talks a lot about patience. Building wealth takes time. It takes discipline. It takes consistency.
So no get-rich-quick schemes.
Nope.
Okay, good. So embracing the long game.
Exactly. It's like planting a seed, You have to give it time to grow.
That's a great analogy. But, even if we're patient, there are going to be challenges along the way. The market might go down. We might have some unexpected expenses. So how do we stay focused? How do we stay on track when things get tough?
That's where resilience comes in.
Okay, resilience.
The article talks about seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow rather than roadblocks.
So bouncing back from setbacks, maybe even coming back stronger.
Exactly.
But sometimes that's hard to do. How do we stay positive, stay motivated when it feels like we're always facing obstacles?
Well, one thing that can really help is surrounding yourself with the right people.
Okay, so your support system.
Yeah, the people you spend time with, they can have a huge impact on your journey.
That makes sense.
Connect with people who inspire you, people who support you, people who share your ambition. Maybe find a mentor who's already achieved what you want to achieve. Or join a group or a community, even online, where you can connect with like-minded people.
Right, like a support group, but for financial goals.
Exactly. And even just talking to your friends and family, people who are supportive, that can make a big difference too.
So it's like having a cheerleading squad, cheering you on as you work towards your financial dreams. And speaking of cheering, I think it's important to celebrate our wins along the way too, right?
Oh, absolutely. No matter how small they seem, acknowledging your progress, celebrating your achievements, that can really keep you going.
Because sometimes that journey to $1 million, it can feel long, it can feel daunting, and it's easy to get discouraged if you're only focusing on the end goal and not the little wins along the way.
Exactly. Break down those big goals into smaller milestones and celebrate each one when you reach it.
Okay, I like that. Celebrate the small wins.
Yeah.
So we're being patient, we're building resilience, we're surrounding ourselves with supportive people, and we're celebrating our successes. What else? What other mindset shifts do we need to make?
One that's really important, especially these days, is continuous learning.
Never stop learning.
Right. The world of finance, it's always changing. You have to stay informed, keep learning, and adapt.
So read books, listen to podcasts, take courses.
Yeah, all of that. And don't be afraid to try new things, Experiment with different strategies. Maybe try that side hustle you've been thinking about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Stepping outside your comfort zone can lead to new opportunities.
Exactly. And even with the right mindset and a willingness to learn, it's still helpful to have support.
Okay.
The article emphasizes that, this isn't a journey you have to take alone. Talking to experts, financial advisors, mentors, people you trust, that can be incredibly valuable.
So find people who can guide you, help you make the best decisions.
Yeah, it's like having a team of experts in your corner, helping you navigate all the complexities of the financial world.
That makes sense. And finally, the article reminds us that financial success isn't just about accumulating wealth.
Yeah.
It's about what you do with it, right?
Exactly. It's about making a positive impact on the world.
So giving back to our communities, supporting causes we care about, maybe even helping our loved ones achieve their financial goals.
Absolutely. Financial freedom can be a powerful tool for good.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive. We talked about the 5 financial moves, the importance of mindset, even how to use our wealth to make a difference.
It's been a great conversation. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Just start with one small step, one change, one new habit.
It's all about taking action, even if it's just a small step.
Exactly.
So to everyone listening, what action will you take today? What will you do to make your financial dreams a reality?
We hope this deep dive has given you the tools and the inspiration to start building a brighter financial future. Remember, you have the power to create the life you want.
That's right, you do. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for financial success.